Friendly reminder to rate, like, subscribe, and follow Teach Me Good wherever you listen to podcasts. Pretty please. It helps us out a lot. Okay. Now that you've done that, go check out our Patreon where we're trying to save up to talk to Tony Hawk via Cameo. Plus you get lots of perks like a mug. And exclusive episodes. Love you. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to the Teach Me Good podcast with your host, Art Kai. Soon you'll hear from him and his friend Fernando.
What's going on,
Later,
Art?
they'll talk to a special guest who will teach them about
Never heard
something.
you come in like that.
Not
before.
everything
This is what I do
we
now.
ask.
It's my voice,
We're
man.
all just trying our
This
best.
is how I do now.
Usually you come in excited or say like an emotional thing, but this is a character.
Nah, this is me now. This is how I talk, Art.
Oh man, we need Tor in here. I feel like every time we do an intro, just you and me, it's chaos. He wrangles us up.
It's because when there's a third person in the mix, I don't know how. I'm not good at communicating when there's more than one person in front of me. It does terrify me because it's.
Can I be on mic? Aren't you trying to be a stand-up comedian professionally?
Your mic is actually not here right at this. If you guys hear someone,
Yeah.
this.
All your turned off when you start speaking.
Listen. Okay.
Okay.
To answer the disembodied voice of the person that
was insane
of the creature that just jumped in.
Yeah.
To answer that point,
Who was that?
Aren't I trying to be a stand-up comic? I do want to point out that when I talk as a stand-up comic, those people, those often thousands of people, those thousands of adoring fans that are in front of me, do not talk back to me.
Yeah.
So they are one entity. Okay.
I thought you were. I don't know. Whenever I see you, you're just constantly doing crowd work. So
I do an upsetting amount of crowd work. But again, I'm not asking for everybody's opinion at one time.
Right.
I'm going, this guy knows what I'm talking about, you know.
Well, you're not asking for everyone's opinion at once, but you do make your way through the audience. I think you get.
Yeah, but
you
I talk
hit
to,
like 90%.
I talk to them one at a time. You know, I make eye contact. You know, I make visual and vocal love to my audience.
I think that's actually beautiful. Anyway, we're not talking about
We're sex
stand-up.
positive on this pod.
We're not. We're also not. This is not a comedy podcast. Even though we are hilarious, that's just our natural way. But this is not a comedy.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about topics that are not comedy related.
Yeah, we love topics. We love learning.
We love a thing. When I started this, I was like, no comedy at all. And
I
we've
feel
been
like
pretty good
when
at
you
it.
started this, I feel like that's been your MO the entire time I've known you. Just too present.
Just no comedy in my life.
No comedy ever.
Right. Well, that's a whole different story. I'm talking this podcast. Only.
It is honestly impressive how far you've made it in stand-up without focusing on comedy
Unlike
at
a single
all.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all schmoozing.
Yeah, it's all schmoozing.
It's all schmoozing.
Yeah, it's all schmoozing and that impeccable jawline.
See, now we're talking about
yours.
comedy again. This is the opposite of what I want. This is what happens. I schmooze with you, and now we're talking about.
Yeah.
Now we're talking comedy.
Well, I was trying to get into just how unbelievably sexy you are, but you kept bringing it back to comedy. So,
Well, speaking of people who are sexy, my girlfriend, unbelievably sexy.
yeah, your girlfriend's an attractive lady.
Okay, well, watch yourself, dude.
Sorry,
Bro, what'd you say? What'd you say, dude?
she's
What'd you say?
she's not my type, you know.
Oh,
She's like,
what does that mean?
She's like the equivalent of the green M&M to you. She's my green M&M.
Okay. What was I actually gonna say is though, my girlfriend did think the actor who played Percy Jackson is pretty cute.
That is why he was cast.
Yeah.
Oh, why are you talking about Percy Jackson?
Well, our topic today is Percy Jackson. What a
wow.
segue, huh?
What a segue to that was almost.
See, I'm a professional.
You jump
make
into the
sure-
topic before introducing the topic. It's kind of like Mission Impossible 3, where like Tom Cruise is being murdered, and then they're like,
He's being murdered in
"This is
every
the first
Mission
2
Impossible.
seconds of the movie." Okay. Also,
All right.
you're not part of this
Yeah,
part.
part of this intro.
I do want to say this is why
Oh my God.
before we started recording, I was like, we probably shouldn't
not.
record with her here.
Right. And here we are.
I feel like I was. I feel nothing but vindication.
Yeah.
My word of the day for my word of the day calendar today, actually, vindication.
Vindication.
So I'm happy I finally got to use it. I've been waiting all day.
I'll send you a good song by Dashboard Confessional called Vindicated. It's in the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack.
Yeah, but that's not the word I said. I said vindication.
She had one
job.
One job.
We did tell her multiple times.
Please, this is an intro.
Be quiet. we told her if you have to laugh to yourself, not out loud. And she's broken every
single rule
as we're going.
Yeah.
So, guys, today our guest today is
we're jumping into it.
Our guest today is Meredith Dietz,
related to Che Diaz.
Yeah, Che Diaz. But you could probably pick up from the personality and general vibes. They are the same person.
They are the same person. No, we are talking Percy Jackson, which I actually don't know too much about. I kind of personally kind of grouped it into the whole like post Harry Potter kind of like YA sort of realm in the world, and I'm just like, not for me. You know, I was kind of grown out of it at the point.
I was a huge Percy Jackson is, I think, that series and the series of Unfortunate Events were the two series growing up that I was obsessed with. Mm-hmm. So much so that my mom told everybody I loved reading. And everybody started, for 1 year, every gift I got was a Barnes & Noble gift card. And after that, I stopped reading.
Yeah.
So my love of Percy Jackson actually led to me not reading because it got forced on me too much. But I did love the series so much growing up. Like, I've read all the books.
Right. But it didn't ruin you.
It did make me stupider, yes.
Right.
Not because of it itself, but because of
I'm skeptical about reading making you smarter, or anyone, not the royal you. I'm skeptical of that.
You're skeptical of reading making you smarter?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of knowledge to be had.
I feel like I've met a lot of people who read a lot, and I'm just like, I'm not that smart.
What are they reading, though?
Like high fantasy.
I guess, yeah. I've seen what you're reading, but
yeah. What am I reading?
Art's reading like meditation books to learn how to like chill out. Art's like, I gotta learn how to be chill. Every time I text Art, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, chilling. Why are you trying to be more chill? You're the chillest motherfucker I know. And it pisses me off that you're trying to be more chill. You know what? At this point, you remember those above the influence commercials where they're like, he just hasn't been the same since he started smoking weed and there's just deflated balloon. That's how hard you're chilling. Yeah, you're not even high and you're already not doing anything most of the time.
But to prove my point, I read and I'm an idiot, so you're not wrong here. So you just proved my point.
Well, that's why I asked the original question, what are you reading? Well, listen, we're getting off topic. Okay, we're getting off topic. The topic of today is Percy Jackson.
But you're a fan.
I would say I was and I am a huge fan. I did I rebought the entire series when I was like 7. I walked into an elementary school scholastic book fair like 16, 17 years old. No one stopped me, which is insane.
It's a business. They gotta make money.
No, I just mean I walked into an elementary school where they were selling books to kids, and no one was like, "Hey, what are you doing here? You should not be. You have a mustache. Walk away." And I walked in and bought this book.
Right. Well, again, I think scholastic book fairs, they are a business. They're trying to make that.
Yeah, but this business was posted up inside where 5-year-olds are, and I no relation to any 5-year-old in the building.
Sure.
Walked in.
They probably thought you were
questions.
They probably thought you were like a brother or like
I don't know.
I just feel. Okay. Yeah. A visiting author is what a random person in this room said.
I feel like
who knows who it is.
If I owned and operated my own elementary school, security would be tighter. Okay.
I mean, if you owned and operated your own elementary school, it sounds like a nightmare. Who would want to go there?
Honestly, we should write that script about a guy. It's like Matt Damon buys an elementary school. And
okay. Now you're onto something. We bought an elementary school.
Guys.
We purchased a public school. It's definitely how schools work. Just buy schools.
I'm telling. If Matt Damon bought an elementary school, you telling me people won't try to sell their kids there? People are sending their kids there.
Oh, I would absolutely sell my kids there. Yes. Not your school. I think your school would probably burn down somehow in a weird way.
Oh yeah, well I would be running bits with the kids all the time. Yeah, and like in a way where they're not getting smarter, they're not getting funnier because I'm the one doing it. You'd probably turn into
like a comedy club and like
kids. It's all toddlers. Yeah. But I feel like this intro is long enough. Our guest Meredith Dietz is waiting for us.
Well, her name is actually Meredith Dietz, everybody. A pal of ours. She
Dietz,
may or may not.
You know, Dietz is actually the family name of the family from Beetlejuice.
Oh, really?
That's a thing.
I didn't know that.
Also,
that's fun.
The mother from Beetlejuice, redheaded, much like our guest. So
I'm colorblind, so I don't know.
I'm a huge Beetlejuice fan as well. So
she's redhead? That's crazy.
Our guest?
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about that in the pod.
Yeah, maybe we'll touch on it.
Anyway, she may or may not already be here. Who knows? I certainly don't.
I'm sorry for how unprofessional she is, everybody.
She had one job.
She had one job. She failed miserably. Miserably? Is that the way to say it?
I'm miserable.
I am as well. Yeah. I'm miserable every time I'm around her.
No, I'm excited. She's a friend of ours. We run a show together. We are. We've hung out multiple times.
I like that she's making faces into the camera as if that's going to end it into the final cut. You know?
Yeah. It's gonna be a big block.
Yeah.
Someone else. Probably Che Diaz. Honestly, now I think about it. Who's Che Diaz? All right, we gotta get into this. Guys, enjoy this episode with our pal, Meredith Dietz. All right, Meredith, can you read that thing for us real quick?
Can I first say that if your listeners gleaned one thing from that intro, it's that Art and Fernando know how to silence a woman. That's all I was fucking.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is a very misogynistic podcast, I will say that.
Hostile environment. Okay, I can read the thing you wrote for me. Now, sir, please. Yeah. Man, can I? Hi. That was natural. Hey.
You know what?
Should have written hey. I never say hi.
Let's just get a new guest. Let's just get a completely new guest.
Oh, because I'm immediately elevated to co-host.
Yeah, right.
So we
need
a guest.
Right.
Okay, can I read my freaking script?
Yes. Read. Give me those lines. This is now an audition.
I'm about to lose my gourd. Okay. Hi. I don't say hi. That's what I have an issue with.
All right. Say what do you say? Yo.
Ahoy.
Aloha.
Shalom.
Okay.
Hey, my name is Meredith Dietz, and I'm going to teach Art and Fernando about the Percy Jackson series because they're absolute gods.
Oh, that's really nice. That's finally a nice comment from a guest.
Gods of what? I feel like
I think gods ubiquitously are a powerful good thing, right?
There's
by
disgusting
definition.
gods.
I think a principal of an elementary school is like a god, and you lord over minors.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
I would.
You
love,
have that complex.
I would love to be the owner, the proprietor of my own elementary school one day. I didn't realize that was a dream of mine until that opening.
Right.
Yeah.
Until you want to
every
just run a school.
podcast should awaken something within you.
Yeah, and
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I also have that as a back tattoo.
Me? Did you thank yourself on my behalf?
Did you say something?
She was talking about silencing women. She silenced me.
I can only make jokes about you guys silencing women because of my ability to soak up the spotlight. It's like an overcorrection, and it's good for me to talk about you guys silencing women.
Interesting.
That sentence was a drag,
wasn't it?
It's very girl boss though.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Let's get to the actual topic. Percy Jackson. I like to call him PJ personally.
Oh.
So Fernando, you're aware. I'm sort of aware. Where do we start? I guess we can start with your relationship with Percy. How'd you start listening to listening? You listened to the audiobooks, right? Exclusively?
I never heard the audiobooks for that. I definitely heard the audiobooks for Harry Potter.
Okay.
I never was an audiobook child though, because
me neither.
My parents were putting on. I did at one stage of life. We had a car that had a DVD player in it.
Whoa, that's pretty sick.
Or we had a portable DVD player that we put out in the car.
Either
way, we were watching movies in a car.
Yeah, you were living the life.
We were, and all those movies were Freaky Friday. I feel like Beethoven with the dog.
Okay.
These are very different movies than I grew up watching.
What movies did you guys grow up watching?
Speed.
What the fuck?
My first movie I watched with my dad. We watched Speed together. Why is that funny? You guys ever seen Speed? It's a good movie. What's the deal, as they say?
All right, moving on.
Moving on. I didn't brush up at all with my relationship or experience or knowledge of Percy Jackson going into this.
You mean this is your experience? Yeah. Go back to your first memory, Percy Jackson.
Oh, first memory ever though?
Right.
I do think I think I was like 3 and I was locked in a shed.
So you don't need to brush up on your memories. Oh wait, what?
I just what I remember.
Here are a few books and
read. When were you first introduced to?
Yeah. What was your? Yeah. You don't have to brush up on that. That's you. That's all in your brain.
I guess I first started reading Percy Jackson. Oh, I actually remember. It's not feminist at all. I had a crush on a little boy. I was an older woman. Yeah, I had a crush on a little boy who was my own age because I happened to be a little girl at the time.
Meredith also wants to be the proprietor of an elementary school one day.
But for nefarious
it's
reasons.
a date. That's fair.
No, it was they were just talking about it. And then there was also like I think the book you latched onto did a lot with your identity as like a little kid, and I was not an Aragon kid, but I was firmly a Percy Jackson kid. And I guess that would have been
It's post Harry Potter though for you, right? Like you were Harry Potter and then Percy Jackson?
They overlapped a lot because I must have started Percy Jackson around the year that the 7th book came out of Harry Potter.
Okay.
Written by
Were you a big reader?
Yes. End of sentence.
Pretty
So
awkward.
how old were you? How old were you when you had the crush on this boy? And
so he was talking. Okay, because
he was 5. You were
16, 17. Okay. Sorry, I just saw licorice pizza. Topical.
We're actually releasing this like 30 years in the future. So
oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, Percy Jackson, timeless. And
exactly.
I also wanted to bring it up because Disney Plus is
a show
doing a live action show that I think is going to be really well done because Rick Riordan, the author, I hope I said his last name right, because I'm speaking to him directly right now. I want to be in the writer's room for that TV show.
And you can.
And I can and I will.
Prove it right now.
I've written spec scripts for the show.
Okay, there we go. This is amazing. You've immersed yourself into the Percy Jackson world already. You clearly have thought about it a lot.
Yes, that's the other thing. And one time I wrote like a fucking Medium essay about, at a time when I was like really dealing with, not that it like, I was like trying to understand everything that J.K. Rowling was doing, like doubling down, being a nasty, grimy little turf.
Yeah.
And
you related? You're like, yes.
I was like, I'm not going to go into that joke. Remove this in post.
Whole different pod.
That's for your separate pod.
Right.
That's for the 4-hour-long one. And we open with climate change, and
topical.
We end with gender.
Topical.
It all ends with gender.
What is she referencing?
Who knows? Because this is being released 30 years in the future.
He'll still be big.
This is all has to go.
Yeah.
None of this. I would situate like the author of Percy Jackson versus J.K. Rowling because he, as he was like learning more about diversity and gender, and is a very like famously woke Tumblr culture kind of fandom, was really incorporating that in all his spin-off series to a like rainbowy extent.
A little too much, perhaps?
A little in your face extent.
Percy Jackson was big on Tumblr, is that what you're saying?
Yes, it was.
Oh, was it actually like the movie or like the book?
No,
the quotes of the book?
No, they hated the movie.
Oh
my god!
There's no way.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
For the listeners at home, Fernando and I just physically removed ourselves from art for bringing up the movie.
Cringed.
Yeah, that's like saying like, oh, did people like the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie? It was.
Wait, what do you mean?
I like all the Avatar movies, both of them. The blue one and the weird guy one.
I was talking with someone about Avatar: The Last Airbender, like as like what good storytelling it was recently, and we had the whole conversation with them thinking James Cameron's Avatar was a successful TV show.
Yeah,
which I wish I could
have
have taken a little dip in their brains and seen what they were picturing for the show.
Yeah,
they had never heard of The Last Airbender at this.
They're old.
How old?
Tell me when.
Like 40s, so their kids wouldn't have it, and they. But now it ageless.
I just feel like it's hard to believe that they wouldn't know what it is.
Right. Just like Percy Jackson, which all of us know what it is,
yes.
right? Sorry, I'm bringing it back.
I forgot.
I'm bringing it back.
I'm going to.
So you discovered Percy Jackson.
4th, 5th grade.
4th. Okay. Yeah. I started reading in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So like 4th grade.
Yes.
I'm a little more advanced.
Sure.
But.
Sure.
So you started reading in 4th, 5th grade.
You loved it?
Yeah. How'd you feel about it?
More ideas on this?
I love this. I feel like you guys are like student journalists at your school's newspaper. When did you first hear about your favorite thing?
The quality's much lower. We don't get any funding from any school. Maybe we should, though.
No, I love it. You're going through the reporter's questions. Yeah. Who, what, where, when, why, how.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can't.
I'm genuinely curious about your experience with
What was
Percy
the name
Jackson.
of the boy you had a crush on?
I
What is he up to
it's
now?
genuinely
Let's
escaping
dox
me.
him
I
right
think he
now.
was really smart. I think he went to MIT and was doing a bunch of math.
Yeah. Our types are different. Interesting.
I don't know where he is now.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
Godspeed.
We'll find
Still
him.
reading Percy Jackson.
He probably is something that you guys can maybe reconnect on. PJ.
And I'm sure he's a listener. And so I think his name was Jeff.
Sure.
Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
Jeff.
I know.
That's rough.
What if it was?
It's all right.
I'm sure. I hope it was spelled Geoff.
Yeah,
or
Geoff,
whatever.
Geoff.
Jeff. That's how I learned
That's
to
my
read.
favorite.
Writing his name down
Geoff.
over and over.
Yeah.
It never made sense. But
Anyway, yeah. So you're reading. Did you burn through these? Are you a fast reader? Do you like burn through these books?
Yeah, it's not even
makes
about
sense.
speed. It's about, and I do this with all media. I'm a binger and food.
Okay.
I'm an addictive personality
Yeah, you
type.
get
so-
real into it.
and then
Nice.
I'll as soon as I finish, start it over again. Like that's what I did with Arcade recently.
You redo.
All the time. When
Wow,
when
okay.
the 7th Harry Potter came out, we not to talk about Harry Potter on the
Yeah,
Percy
yeah.
Jackson pod, but it was
Sacrilegious.
Yeah.
you read it in the day and then you read it again slower to
Wow.
Yeah.
It
I
was-
agree. Listen, you're talking to someone that's rewatching Supernatural for the third time.
Oh,
this
no,
year,
yeah,
so-
but except for you're mentally unwell and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, right.
having an enriching experience.
Okay,
Exactly.
So you're talking to someone who rewatches Nightmare Before Christmas
And Hocus Pocus on
On
a
a
loop
loop for-
on
for
Christmas.
like 12 hours
place.
straight.
I'm
It
proud of
doesn't.
Yep,
No,
good
you're
place.
enabling.
you. Good place.
You're talking
I like
to
my friend.
You're talking to someone that
My
on a
friend's
plane
behavior.
again watches The Nightmare Before Christmas the entire plane
The
flight.
entire time.
I guess, but on a plane, you need comfort. You need to be
Yeah,
soothed
I mean,
or
there
whatever.
are other movies, but
Are there?
No, yeah, you're
Not
not.
listen, the point
Not
is,
my movies.
it's
Not my
not
planes.
about me. It's about you.
This is
and
about
how
your
you-
cry for help. But
Every
it's about
podcast
me.
is a cry for both of us.
Yeah.
We need a
I
lot
would
of
say
help.
that is the premise of a podcast.
Every
is
podcast.
of a cry for help.
Yeah.
Coming at you, Pod Save America.
We were actually talking to them to be guests. I think they're probably going to cancel now.
Yeah.
Sucks.
We needed to save America.
We needed to save at least one of the Americas. At least one.
How many are there?
I don't know. Anyway.
We're a country divided. Can you guys ask me a decent question about Percy fucking
We're
Jackson?
trying to, all right?
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm making it hard.
We're trying to.
Just give us a brief overview of what Percy Jackson is for
Yes.
people that don't know.
Oh yeah.
I genuinely have an idea,
He
but I
has a
don't
very-
really know.
He has a very naive idea of what it is.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, I should have.
Also, all those questions about you and your experience with Percy Jackson, amazing questions, might I add. All right, people get the context.
We're
Anyway.
also early. We're still getting into it.
We're 5 minutes in.
You
We're
get
11
deeper
minutes.
questions as you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
5 minutes into
Yeah,
5-6 hours.
Okay.
It's midnight, everyone.
Let me explain how this podcast operates. We start context and then we get deep.
Yeah.
We get deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Okay.
We fall down this well. And we fall together. All right. So we're gonna
I stay up
we're gonna
here.
walk you. We're gonna walk you through your
You
context.
peer down at us and we're like, send a rope, and you're being like, I can't hear you. We're at the bottom of the well. But while
Yeah.
Art and I are basically
We're
fucking
going-
drowning,
right.
we form a bond,
Right, because we're gonna survive together, and,
And
we
then
have the survivors
I
bond.
have major FOMO as
and then you have.
Per usual.
It's not the greatest FOMO of all, survivor's guilt.
That's true. That is true. That's a good point.
So what? Can you give us a brief overview,
overview
of Percy
Percy
Jackson?
Jackson.
Percy Jackson is about half breeds. I can't think. Oh my god, my brain.
Half bloods.
Half breeds.
Yeah, man.
Like
Could I be any
mulattoes.
more clear?
Yeah.
Percy Jackson is about
Interracial.
kids. It's all that it's a metaphor.
You did hit it.
I mean, yeah.
It basically states that all of the Greek gods are still living amongst us because they move with the heart of Western civilization, which is now in New York fucking City, where we are recording at the top of the
Right.
Empire
Yeah,
State
this
Building.
this wasn't like 2002. Now this is pre-COVID. So like now.
Well, I wonder if
New York is
he was
fallen.
writing pre or post 9/11.
Ooh.
That would be good to know because that is, it's not like overly. I say that sentence about like the heart of Western civilization. It's not like an overly like go America kind of book.
Yeah.
That's just like the explanation for why the Greek gods would be in New York.
Right.
And then
9/11. Wait, you're
spoiler,
telling me 9/11 is the reason why
the
they're
spin-off series includes the Roman gods also exist and their heart is in California.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Lots of shit.
Was there 9/11 there?
I haven't read it. Is it good? Is this?
Let me finish. So
not to get
basically,
easy,
Percy
buddy.
Jackson.
This is off pod. I'll ask about that one.
Okay, no, we can talk about it on pod, but I should, for the listeners who have not left yet. So, who would that be? Genuinely, tell me right now. Say name a name.
Names.
Name a name.
Art Kai.
Okay,
That's it.
no, there's someone else.
I don't
Rick.
know. I don't know who listens.
Rick, I want to write on your show so bad. The Tumblr, the fandom calls him Uncle Rick, which
Is that a real thing?
yes, very much so. I
crazy.
never really said like Uncle Rick, but that was
She
his.
calls him Daddy Rick.
I did not say
father.
Daddy Rick. Please.
Yeah, she says Daddy Rick
Lord.
every time.
Hopefully one day I call you boss, co-writer, partner. This is my plea.
She calls him Daddy Rick and partner.
Yeah.
And partner, yeah. But
Babe.
Percy Jackson is a kid who discovers that he is the son of Poseidon. He goes to Camp Half-Blood. That's what I was trying to say earlier when I said half-breed, which sounded foul, right?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Sounded racially motivated.
Didn't
to be
it?
honest, a little bit.
I know, and that's why we discovered something about
That's
the
why
metaphor.
we did put a bunch of disclaimers of what Meredith can and can't say at the top of this pod.
Yeah.
That's true, and I'm gonna.
She's doing it. She's doing it.
I take a lot of wiggle room and freedom with those kinds of rules.
Right.
But
Society, baby.
yeah, Percy Jackson. He then goes on quests, and each book is structured around a different quest. And there's like one big prophecy that he's the subject of that says that he is going to have to, save the world when the Titans rise up from Tartarus and try to fight the gods. Kronos. I'm remembering all of this in real time.
That's great.
So I did
this is
not
good.
say it in the most efficient way, but
okay.
it's really fun to remember these books.
Right.
They're fantastic books.
How many?
so good.
How many in the first series?
There are 5.
Okay, and then how many in their spinoff?
5.
Okay,
And then there are a lot of other, there's an ancient Egypt one.
that's what I was also wondering about.
There's a few other spin-offs that I would go online and like just look for the PDFs of them and Command F my favorite characters' names and just read their
the
cameos.
excerpts. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still pretty committed though. I feel like you're just like so. Even to this day, you're like I like to go.
But it's
and,
when
like,
I'm
check
in
out.
the binge.
Who are some of your favorite characters?
Well, so I was a huge Percy and Annabeth like shipper. Like
Okay.
I
I guess
I'm leaning
Annabeth
back.
is the
Annabeth
love,
Chase,
is the love
the
interest?
daughter of. Oh my God, I was just about to say Artemis, but it's Athena, obviously.
Okay.
And then
That's so you didn't ship. What is it? Who's the red
Rachel Dare, no.
Rachel Dare, the
I
redheaded
have-
character.
Oh, interesting.
I saw there's competition. The mortal, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's some mortal mingling. It seems.
There was, but then she ended up having a bigger role.
Yeah.
Like she ended up a role that happened to like eliminate her as a love interest, so it made it all pretty.
Because
neat
she
and
was like a
tidy.
brief, like maybe they will end up together.
They kissed,
Yeah.
buddy. They kissed, and Percy and Annabeth, greatest will they, won't they of our time.
Did they? I guess no spoiler.
No, they do.
Oh, do they have kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, no. The last, I think where we leave them
quarterbloods?
off, they are going to
guess
college in California because. So here's the thing, which I love. So the Camp Half-Blood, it's like it's fun when you're a little kid and it's all these preteens that are like defending our world and we don't even see it because they can see monsters and monsters are after them and Camp Half-Blood is the safe haven for them. But mortals. There's something called the mist that prevents us from seeing all the magic and stuff. And Rachel Dare is an interesting mortal because she can see through the mist.
Oh.
So kind of cool. Which you find
interesting.
out it's because she's supposed to be the Oracle. And when she ends up as the Oracle can't be, linking up with anybody. Can't have any love interests. So that's what eliminates
conflict
her.
of interest.
It is.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
So
So
there's a lot of relationships. It seems a lot of
yes.
dating.
Well, no, there's not a lot of time for dating when you're fighting.
There's a lot of action.
monsters.
Okay.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I
truly
also-
don't know. I barely have seen the movies.
And the movies
Are bad.
absolutely
Really bad.
changed it. And what's so fun, I wish I could have brought up is, I'm just going to call him Rick, the author of it all, is so involved with the fans and stuff and conversations with them and like is so in tune to what people are saying online and receptive to feedback and all that kind of stuff. He, on his blog, on his website, posted the letters that he wrote to the screenwriters about all the things they were doing wrong and how he would love to help them, not for money, not like it, to be more involved in the project, but to like talk about why they were going to lose the fan base, which they did. This could have been a 10 movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And assuming second one was like 2-parters,
Yeah.
this could have been
A huge franchise.
A huge franchise.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
such a big fan base.
Right.
But
He's like, I could have made so much money. I could have been so rich.
yes,
But the studios
but
ruined
they
my life.
fucked it up. But now it's going to get a TV show.
So is the show based on the original series?
Yeah, and I'm
Okay.
really excited because I think the first book is going to lend itself well to
Like a
a
TV
season
adaptation.
versus.
Yeah.
I mean,
Got
it would have been. It's structured like it could easily be a movie, but I'm so excited for it to. Well, I think it's gonna be really interesting with the kids' ages, how they're gonna do 5 books worth of stuff.
Yeah, because they're like 12. They're like 12 or 13. In the first,
Yeah.
it's
Very
supposed
Harry
to be.
Potter. Yeah.
Very Harry Potter.
So, what is the appeal of this book over like Harry Potter? That's what I've always been curious about because I'm like, oh, it sounds like another Harry Potter to me.
Oh, well, I think you're right that it does kind of fill that void or hit some of the same spots of a kid getting to live through another kid's POV of why they are somehow special and something that like adults aren't really a part of.
Right.
I would say that Percy Jackson is definitely simpler and for a younger audience typically. It's more quote unquote like relatable. Like the humor and stuff is a little more like goofy.
Okay.
And
It's less British.
it's less British.
But they go to like a camp, which is like basically like a boarding school kind of situation, right?
They do, but
It's also like in the city though.
in the way that like Hogwarts is the world that you
Yeah,
are
yeah,
immersed in, the camp is just like the starting and ending point of every book.
Got
They
it,
go
got
off
it,
on
got
a
it.
quest every single
I
time.
kind of like Percy Jackson because they stayed in the real world a lot. Like they would be in New York, they would be in places,
Right.
like they would go to
Las Vegas, baby.
Yeah, it was like they went to
My dad lives
places,
there.
and so it was cooler because Harry Potter would go
Relatable.
Hogwarts, and
Yeah.
there's a place you could never go.
Right.
But I could go to New York City.
And you can like just imagine, be like, oh,
be like,
Percy's
oh,
swinging from
yeah.
building to building, like
I just
Spider-Man.
can't see it, but like there is a Cyclops running through this building
Right.
now.
And there's also the thing of like Harry is like just he's like an orphan and just like any other kid and like scrawny
Right.
and stuff, but like there were fun little things about Half-Bloods are ADHD and dyslexic, all because Rick's son
Wait, like
was
diagnosed?
No.
Yes, because their brains were hardwired to read ancient Greek was the thing. But if you were an ADHD dyslexic kid,
Right.
these books
Yeah.
were there for you, and like you could be special in them.
Yeah.
Are they easier to read? Like, are they made for dyslexic?
Definitely not. It's
Okay.
still, but it's
Still, like, if
They
you're
are.
dyslexic, you're fucked forever.
forever.
That's what you're saying, right?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's a hard stance, and I'll defend it the rest of this pod.
He's dyslexic, I think.
I like to say that because I don't want to admit I'm just dumb. So, but I do say I'm dyslexic for that reason.
Yeah. So,
I
okay,
do.
this is interesting. I think that the idea of it being like in the real world, but also like accessible and like kind of interesting to kids who are like kind of like more like normal kids, you know? I feel like Harry Potter doesn't really have a lot of that. It's more like the characters are like dealing with some big, it's more plot based, I feel, you know?
I liked it personally because they were all gods. So like Percy being the son of Poseidon, they're called the big three: Poseidon, Hades, and Zeus. And so whenever you run into one of their children are just unbelievably powerful. And it was kind of cool to see them just.
To see yourself and how you interacted with other kids, where you're like, I have this unbelievable
Right.
power
Yeah.
that other kids can't.
Well, I'm a
compete
child
with
of
or understand.
Hermes like everybody else, so it's.
Oh
fun.
yeah, that's fun. So that was also fun. Is it has that factions element, like in the same way. There's so many similarities of like what like itch it scratches between Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. I think you have the chosen boy fulfilling a longer term prophecy with a lot of other like monster of the day side plots that drive each book. Romance with like your main fighting partner,
Right,
except
right.
for not Harry doesn't do that as much.
Right.
Because Ginny doesn't really get introduced as a real character in the end. But yeah, the like who would you be a child of?
And
Yeah.
It was also because like there were no children of the big three Poseidon, so like Percy sat in a dorm all by himself, and it was just kind of sad.
Oh, he's like really alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you like meet his brother, but that's
the brothers.
It's like it's a different
The
thing.
brother's a Cyclops because technically Poseidon is the father of all Cyclops.
Oh,
but it's
yeah,
a whole
that's a
thing
good
of like Percy being there, even though everyone picks on the Cyclops because people Half-Bloods hate Cyclops because Cyclops are monsters. But he's
Right.
kind of like a
sweet-
helpless little sweet thing.
He's also handy as shit. You know.
yeah, and he also fucking he's making him these watches that turns into
Yeah.
shields. I think that's the other thing too, is I will say what I liked in Percy Jackson versus Harry Potter all the time is Harry Potter, it's like it's describing the spells, blah blah blah. But like Percy's always like he can feel the power of the sea in his gut, and it's all these good explanations of what it feels like to use power. And so every time I would go to the beach, I'd be like, "Oh, I feel that. Power. Yeah. I'm channeling my fucking dad Poseidon."
Yeah, I think I remember watching. I don't remember what it was, but it was like this maybe a movie about like wizards or maybe Harry Potter. Probably not, but there's like an explanation of how like magic like surges through your hand to the wand. It's like this like tingling feeling. I'm like, that's so cool. Every time I feel that, I'm like, yo, I got magic. That's so cool.
It's such a good writer trick to always just go for the sensation and just give it a name.
Yeah.
Because I think that'd be hard to do as the creator to be like,
totally.
What does it feel like to use power
in
a new way?
But it's more, it's trying to immerse. It's like more immersive in that way. Is Percy Jackson more immersive than Harry Potter? Would you say?
No.
Okay, interesting.
Because it's more blended into the real world. Yeah. It's not its own universe the way Harry Potter is.
It's hard to.
But I also thought that like I think. For Percy Jackson, I liked it more than Harry Potter because I feel like Percy Jackson is almost more of a conspiracy because you don't necessarily because like
and that's your series of unfortunate events too.
Yes, and like a Harry Potter, you know that Voldemort is the villain, you know he's the bad guy, but in this one you're trying to figure out who stole the lightning bolt, why they stole it.
It's more like a hardcore mystery.
Yeah, like at the beginning, and then it's that slowly as you go on. I mean, you get more and more answers, but it is fun, right?
It's that, and I like what they do by the end. It doesn't get fully into it because again, it's for little kids, but having Percy question why he's fighting for the gods because what have the gods done for him and like their ultimate authority and like
there's a lot of interesting themes.
You should read them. I bet you could crush it.
And they do that whole thing where they're like, "Oh, the gods planned this because like they like reliving the same stories over and over again." So they it kind of like comes out to like the gods orchestrated all of this because they like seeing their old tales happening over and over again.
Wow, that's like that's super fascinating. That's weird and also makes sense.
I mean. Is that the thing?
That is not sounding familiar to me at all.
Because I'm pretty sure I was like I've seen a lot of things like Greek mythology, so I could just be adding this, but I feel like that's part of some story I've read. So
okay, I believe that, and I would believe
coming through
that it's like a fan interpretation. Yeah. There's no aha moment in the books where they're like the gods know what they're doing because they thank the heroes and they like the big thing is that they offer Percy immortality at the end.
I was gonna say, don't they send Percy like on the same trials of like Hercules and everything like that too? I was like, because I remember being tied to all of that as well.
Not in like a overt, deliberate way. Okay. Like they don't say that they're doing it like that, but like when shit like the Hydra pops up, Percy's like, "Oh fuck, how did Hercules do this?" Yeah. Because and Annabeth is always there. Annabeth, the like fucking Hermione equivalent, because she's the daughter of Athena, and she's cool because she doesn't have any special powers, right? But she just like the fucking Sokka, like she just like can
she just fuck shit up.
She just fuck shit up because she's just like super smart and she wants to be an architect, and she wants to be an architect because she wants to build a new world.
How many times have you read these books?
Oh fuck, so many.
So many times. Do you still reread them like to this day?
The start of the pandemic. Well, this was like the first comfort thing I went to after Avatar. Really? Yeah, when I went, because I went home for like a month and those were the books I had. And so I reread all of them and all of the 5 Heroes of Olympus are the other ones.
Okay. Wow. Damn.
It was, and it was so, it's comforting. And because that's the thing is like when you're rereading books from your childhood, the joy you get out of it, as long as you pace it out by like a year, just fucking compounds because it has added sentimentality. And now nostalgia. What's interesting though now is what's been thrown into it is the pandemic for me. So if I try to reread them like next year, I am going to be taken back to my childhood and to quarantine. Which kind of I'm regretting doing.
Right. But that's actually like an interesting, like you're reading in different parts of your life in a way and like different like sort of points in your life, and you can kind of just like revisit different emotional states that you're in. But I think is a more emotionally attaching activity thing to do with the thing, you know, with the media
agree. Especially with like the three of us are people who kind of have the like creator mindset, and I know you guys aren't like writers as much,
right?
But for someone who has first read them and saw myself as Annabeth because she was the female character I attached to, and then got a little older and was like, no, I fucking see myself as Percy because he's the hero and it doesn't matter, I don't have to be the girl. And then now I'm like, oh, I see why why Rick like chose to do that here and why he paced it like that and why he gave us that insight, blah blah blah. And I get to see it more as like adult.
Yeah, you're experiencing it in different ways.
Yeah, which I love.
Which is cool.
That's why I love rewatching, rereading, doing all that stuff.
I feel like every Percy Jackson fan that I met are like ride or die Percy Jackson. They love the series so much. Yeah, like, even compared to like Harry Potter fans, I'm like, you guys have a deeper appreciation, I feel like, than most other like fandoms.
It might be because it's also not as huge as Harry Potter, so the people that are into it are really into it.
I would say it's like the second biggest sort of like YA-ish kind of novel or fantasy novel.
How active were you guys on like fandom stuff online for different things? You go.
I was gonna say, like, Art's always, he'll text me, he's like, hey, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, I'm watching a One Piece analysis video, and it's just like I'm just like watching analysis or reading fan theories about things that I really like.
Sure.
And
like
so
I get the lore.
I get really deep. I love exploring lore and like the world of things.
We're talking about like the fans, like literally the fan fiction shit.
Yeah. I'm talking about the community aspect.
That's what I mean. Like I really enjoy getting into like just
like on the Reddits of people.
Subreddits.
Percy Jackson subreddit is like Camp Half-Blood r/Camp Half-Blood is popping off, and I posted my scripts there. And people would come back people would come back and be like, this. Actually, in the book, he says this. And I'm like, I know, this is my take on it.
Fucking idiot.
And I know that I'm a somewhat adult, genuinely getting heated because I'm sure 9-10-year-old, it's actually he says this.
Well, I feel like at this point, probably also perhaps adults.
Who knows? I'm fighting with like a 30-year-old guy in his basement.
Yeah, maybe. It's going to be me one day. I'm going to read them all, and then I'm going to turn 30, and then we'll be on there.
So you're very involved, or you...
The fandom.
I have been. I've dabbled.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your comment about the fandom? You said, I feel like you're about to say something about fandom.
Oh, because you were talking about how involved they were, and I was just going to remark on how interesting is how things like would clump in threes. Like, do you guys know Super Hulock?
Yeah, I'm very well versed in Super Hulock.
You would be with Supernatural. So like Super Hulock is Supernatural, Doctor Who, and Sherlock. Because if you're a fan of one, you're a fan of all of them, and then you were friends with people who spoke that same language.
Right.
It's a Tumblr term, right?
It very much so is.
Yeah.
I have shivers right now. But Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and Hunger Games were the big three YA things. Okay. And there was like a symbol that combined all of it.
Right.
I don't remember what the Hunger Games at. Oh, it was like the Mockingjay pin with the Deathly Hallows with a trident.
I'm surprised Twilight was not a part of that.
Well, no, because you made at that time that group of people were anti-Twilight. Oh, and that was
interesting.
It's like that was a huge part of it.
Right.
Like you couldn't incorporate Twilight into it because anti-Twilight sentiment was so big. But now it's ironic and we love Twilight.
Yeah.
Unironic.
Well, do you? Unironically?
I watched the movie and I was like, this is fucking great movie.
Fun.
But Stephanie, I think the like ironic or not appreciation of Twilight went a little too far, given like the overcorrection to be like, actually Twilight, we love it, ha ha ha. It's like, I mean, that author is still like a Mormon talking about.
It's funny that you bring this up because we actually had we talked to a dude who
about Twilight.
Wait, you talked to a dude without me?
Yeah, sorry.
I have to go.
He's actually pretty cool. He was asking about you, and we were like, no.
Is he single?
Yeah, can't do that. He's actually taken, but he was considering cheating.
For me?
For you.
Okay, well.
But I told him, don't do it.
I would consider.
Don't do it.
You told him don't do it.
Don't do it, dude.
Why? I don't have flaws, and his relationship's probably unhappy.
That's why. It's just he's out of your league. You're out of his league.
Thank you.
That was a terrible save.
It's fine. Art is this whole time been thinking about his sexy girlfriend, so we're
I mean,
a huge boner
and guess what?
Right now,
Fernando's been thinking about how repulsed he is by Art's girlfriend.
I know he likes my girlfriend.
I like her personality.
Okay.
Anyways, what does this guy say about Twilight?
Oh, right. So, it's basically him talking about like how it's a ridiculous movie. It's like insane, and like Stephenie Meyer's not a good writer, and it's just like her projecting her Mormonism and like her repressed sexual stuff onto like teenagers, and teenagers like buying into it. It's like really sex negative kind of, and like toxic relationships, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
My friends listened to it, two girls, and they
one cup.
Well. One book, all right?
Okay.
Twilight, all right?
Okay.
And
now I'm listening.
Now we're back. They hit me up. They're like, you guys don't get it, because they listened to the episode. They're like, you guys don't get it. It's like, it means way more than just these things. And it's just like, we'd love to have you on the podcast. And they're like, it's not our thing. We don't do podcasts. We don't. We're offer only. I just gave you an offer, Caitlin and McKenna. Anyway,
Caitlin and McKenna defend Twilight. I want to talk to you.
I think we'll get them on board. But they are very much like Like it's about adolescence. It's about the feelings during adolescence, about growing. And I feel like bringing it back to Percy Jackson kind of timeless. There's no issues with like this shit of like we actually don't like it. It's not ironic. It's very genuine. People love Percy Jackson.
And something I'm thinking of now is the difference between those two. If they're both about adolescence, at the end of Twilight, she makes like her big thing is choosing to get married and become a vampire and make a permanent decision and commitment because of something that happened in her adolescence. Right. Versus Percy Jackson gets offered immortality and his whole thing is turning it down so that he can be just like a normal kid and grow up with the people that he loves. So I think it's like they do the exact opposite thing at the end, and Percy did it right.
Yeah, I think that's another thing about Percy Jackson is that they seem like they wanted to be normal above all. Like a lot of the kids seem like they kind of strove to just like, I want to be a normal kid like everybody else. Whereas in Harry Potter, they're like, oh, we are separate from basically the rest of society. Would you agree with that? Because Percy always seemed like he kind of didn't enjoy the fact that he was like the chosen one.
Well, neither did Harry. It's a difference between being chosen one, being wizard, versus being a... Well, I think another thing that, like... Percy Jackson was just so much more, like, in your face of, like, I want to be, like, a normal kid. Like, my dad's not present. And something none of one here can relate to.
No, I'm very close to my dad.
Yeah, I love my dad.
All
actually, it's his birthday. I gotta...
Should we sing?
I gotta message him soon. I've been forgetting.
We'll send him a message.
You guys' birthdays are so close. Everyone, I know this is coming out 30 years from now, but it is Fernando's birthday as of 3 days ago.
4 days ago? Monday?
4 days ago.
3 days ago is correct.
3 days ago was correct.
Oh, you're not counting. I'm counting Thursday. I'm counting today.
Why are you counting today?
Wait, this is fucking incredible content. I'm sorry for derailing.
Wait. Why are you counting today?
I always count today. It's a day.
That's not how you
Carpe
count,
diem, baby.
All right, anyway, Percy Jackson.
Why is he counting today?
We're talking about Percy.
Who do you think? So, what do you know about the Greek gods? I want to know who you think who your parent would be.
I don't know anything about the Greek. What are their personalities? This is good.
This is great. Oh, well, okay. There's like 12. Who do you think Art is?
Yeah. Who do you guys think I am?
I'm going Child of Hermes as well.
Wow. Okay.
For
really?
What does this mean?
Yeah. I was gonna pick something else, but I don't know what.
Before we dig into this, who are
Festus?
Is it all the gods, or is it just
there's 12 main gods because they were like a court up there,
right?
So Hermes, you can guess Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, what their kids are like.
Okay,
who's gonna like identify with what they're
right?
Why do you call yourself Hermes?
Hermes is the one that had like 1,000. Like his house was overrun with children, right?
Yeah, and Hermes is the like and the rest.
Everybody else's like cabin had like a normal amount of kids, and then Hermes was like overflowing.
Why does he have so many kids?
Because I do fuck.
Because he's the messenger god, and so he's running around. But he's also the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
God.
And
okay.
And some mischief and stuff. So like the pranksters are in that one. I was about to say
I would be a child of Hermes because they were kind of like mischievous and they were always and like you said their abilities were the most wide ranging, so they had like different skills. Just because they were all the same child doesn't mean they were,
but no concentrated power. And I think that's what would always kill me, is to like be a child that didn't have like one special like I can control the oceans kind of thing.
That makes sense.
It's this
OP. That'd be OP.
But the big three kids were all very unique in that way. Because like even when you meet Zeus, what's her name? Helena? What's her name?
Talia.
Yeah. I keep on saying Helena. I think I said Helena last time too. But yeah.
Well, Helena of Troy.
As soon as she got introduced, she was like insanely powerful, like immediately.
And it was a good ego thing of like Percy not being the most powerful one, and showed Poseidon's complex of being a second place kind of guy.
I feel like there's a lot. I'm like missing a lot. There's lots to digest here.
Yeah. There is. I don't want to like just talk about the plot,
which you don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah. Which you don't have. You don't want me to. I'm gonna fucking leave.
Well, I wanted like an overview of the plot, and then
I think my little sister, for some reason, I think for her we always picked Persephone. I don't know why, because it would be like underworld, and she's a brunette, so I don't know why we did that. I think she's an engineer, so she should be Hephaestus.
Are they based on like they're based on personalities though, right? Like
this is in the Greek myths, they were all the god of blank, and then you would go live in your
right.
And also like they address directly that the kids can all date and stuff, because even though all their parents are Greek gods who might be related by some way. oh, it's all ancient history, baby, and it's not by blood.
Yeah, okay.
I love that they address that.
They do, because
Yeah.
you know, I had some ships in there that I was really needed to sail.
What was the ship you had?
Incest.
Always Percy and Annabeth.
Oh, of course. But
Right.
I was like,
I wasn't a big
Did you ship? Is it Grover? Did you ship?
with Juniper,
Yeah,
his
like-
tree girlfriend.
There's a lot of relationships. And you're saying
It's
there
a
weren't.
horny series.
Yeah.
And I'm a horny girl.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't like it.
I
I don't get horny.
as a reader in all media, I always
Love
ship.
the horny kids.
I just am like a horny child.
You love the horny kids.
I will always, whatever the creator is telling me who's supposed to be in love, I like. I'll never be Team Jacob. I'll never
Sure.
want Rachel to be with Percy.
You're just on board with whatever's
I'm on
given
board
you.
with what they feed me.
Right.
And I slurp it up.
I respect
Oh
that.
my God.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do it? I actually hate that. I have to take my headphones off. What's the opposite of liking ASMR?
I don't
Loving
know.
it?
Love.
I think I have like a sensitivity to it. I hate that shit so
fair.
much. I am.
Can you not?
Not to be a diva, I'm gonna burn your place down. I can't
This
handle
whole place.
it.
So what is Percy like? Is he a weird dude? Is he a cool kid? Was he a chill dude? Do you relate to him? You said you
Here's the
related to
thing.
him.
I didn't actually, because Percy's like whole thing is like,
But now you do.
he's kind of got the lazy genius complex of like he struggled in school and he like always was figuring things out on the fly.
Sure.
But then he's actually really clever.
Yeah.
And a cool thing that happens through the series and watching him grow up is like getting to hear more about how other characters see him and how like powerful and intimidating he is.
Yeah.
When inside his own head, he's just like, oh, fuck. I gotta figure this out.
Anxious dude.
Like,
yeah.
But
But you said you relate to him now more so.
not now.
Well, you said you related to Annabelle before.
Weirdly, her name's Annabeth, which I found out
Annabeth.
much later in life is a fake name that the book made up.
Oh, really?
Annabeth is not like a thing.
What do you
name?
mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like names are
you can
just...
make
Names-
anything.
oh,
I
anything
feel like
can be a
I
name.
feel like I met an Annabeth.
Sorry.
Oh, then maybe someone yelled at me and was like, Annabeth's not a real name.
I for sure met
Anything
an
can be a
Annabeth
real
growing
name.
up.
What are they talking about?
Yeah.
Anything can be a real
This
name.
is like Lilo and Stitch.
yeah,
like,
what are they talking
Stitch is
about?
not a real name, and you're like, it's a real name.
That's a prime example, but also triggering one,
Yeah.
given who I look like.
But you relate to Annabeth.
Who do you look like?
Yeah,
Stitch.
Stitch.
I wish I looked like one of
I can
the
see it.
aliens that was sent to like hunt him down. I don't remember that movie.
Experiment 626.
625. You look like 625.
625?
You just make
Oh, yeah,
you,
maybe.
you do make a lot of sandwiches.
Oh, he was the skinny. Oh, he was the skinny icon. I want to be that one.
He was the bulky
He
one.
was,
right?
he was the chubby one eating
Yeah, he's the
sandwiches.
bulky
Fernando
one.
has a scale in his apartment, and before I was allowed to record, he said to step on, and he wrote down the number, and he said, "Okay, it's close, but you can record today."
Right.
That
That happened.
did happen.
He did that to me too.
I do that to every guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He
does it before you can like walk in. You actually have to do
Yeah.
it before you can even enter.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I calculate everybody's BMI before we record.
Yeah. Anyway, so why do you think you're like Annabeth?
Her whole thing is being like clever and type A and all that stuff. And I think growing up, I was like that. But now, as a reckless, spontaneous, goofy little stand-up comedian, I've decided I'm type B. But I think the fact that I'm deciding and manipulating my personality every single morning
Makes you type A.
makes you a little type A.
Here's a crazy thought.
Or a psychopath.
You can be a little bit of both.
Nope.
I think most people can be a
One
little
or the
bit of both. Like it's a binary, baby.
Whichever one I am, I'm killing all the others.
I don't know what these terms mean, so I'm just.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, of course. Why would I know what those mean?
Are you capping?
No, I'm not capping. I don't cap. As of 2022, I don't cap anymore.
Should we explain what type A, type B is
Yes,
really quick?
I
Okay.
think it's fun. I like doing all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's a personality thing. Type
Okay.
A is more like very organized, focused, motivated,
Okay,
hardworking,
okay.
kind of like
Anal.
anal, entrepreneurial type of personality. Type B is kind of the opposite, kind of just like chilling, more creative, quote unquote, kind of more like free spirited.
Is there another
Um,
one? Is there type
No,
C?
it's just type A and B.
Those are the two. There's only two types of people in this
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
well,
Those who entertain.
So Percy's more
those who
type B,
observe.
you would say.
Yes.
Okay, and now you sort of relate more so to Percy. Oh, I guess now, or
As
maybe do you relate to anybody in the books? You don't have to.
Well, I think they're so distinctly 12-year-olds for a lot of the books that I now don't like.
They're playing Fortnite.
I think more when I'm reading them now, they I'm like reflecting on what I saw in myself growing up in
Right.
that, which I think is like really sweet. And
Yeah. That's why it's interesting to me. I think this is, we get the context, then we get into this deeper part of like who you are, relating back to the context. God, this fucking pod is amazing. We're killing it.
Are we doing
Don't
that?
touch
Can
me.
we do a commentary episode of this podcast?
Yeah, we get real meta.
Yeah.
That's for the Patreon. We actually do that already. So
You do a commentary over top your own voices doing the podcast the first
Of
time.
our guest
should-
voices. So never what we're saying. It's always when
Dude,
our guest starts talking.
we should
talk
actually
over
do
that.
that. That'd be hilarious
Yeah.
if we just took an episode and started commentating, like the director's commentary.
Yeah.
Here in this moment, I decided to say,
Do it. I've
so
listened. I know an episode. I listened to a pod
So
where they
funny.
did that, and you should copy
it's
that
pretty
formula.
funny. It's pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting that you, you probably have changed also, right? I mean,
Since I was 12, not really.
not really.
Nope, not once.
Yeah. You don't think you're type A anymore?
I was super high strung for a long time.
What?
Yeah.
Is that fake surprise?
Yeah.
Do
He's being a
honor
dick.
your New
He's being
Year's
a- he's being a
resolution.
dick now. He's
I don't
he's
know how
capping
I
now.
present. I don't know. I think.
I genuinely don't think you are high strung. I think high
Not at
strung.
all.
I don't think you're high strung.
Wait, what are my flaws though?
We
That's
can,
a
we can
different
do that. We can do
question.
that off mic. Off mic. I don't want to.
We're about to end our co-host show.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, we
starting
can
to
do
get
this all off
tense,
mic. We'll
hostile.
list each other's flaws.
How about this?
Yeah.
You two actually have more insight into this than anybody in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree that when I'm not on mic, I'm like a little more like I need to plan everything I want to say and I need to like get answers to little questions? And then would you agree that once the spotlight's turned on and I'm in front of people, I'm a little bit of can't figure out what I'm going to say and go all over the place? And I'm more of the like
I would say in particular to the way you perform, you do try to plan it out, and then once you go on stage, you throw out the plan almost immediately.
Yes.
So
am I the worst of both worlds? Yes.
I think in terms of performing, but not in terms of like. I
Yeah.
never noticed you like in real life being like.
I've never hung out with Meredith
should've
outside of
planned so
a
much.
open mic situation.
Scenario.
So
Dude,
in terms of comedy,
We've
yes.
seen God.
It's-
Come on.
it's hard. It's hard for me to
God
say what
together.
she is like outside of like a comedic.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
bring it back to Percy Jackson. I do like this personality thing. Why do you guys think I'm a child of Hermes?
I wouldn't have put that for
I
you.
was joking. It's just
Well, no, 'cause it's the easiest one.
It's because he has like 1,000 kids
Oh,
versus
got it.
like 12 of
What do
every
you
other.
guys generally think? I'm curious. This is
I
a
would-
nice personality
I haven't-
no,
evaluation.
it's fun
Yeah,
stuff.
I haven't
What-
read the book since I was like 21, so I would have to go back and really go back and see.
What do you think?
That was
I'm
also
trying
the
to. I'm
first
going to
time I
like
read the
knock them all
books.
off. For some reason, Apollo came into my head.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Because he's
Why?
like a comic
Yeah.
relief character a little bit, but he's also
Pretty
he's a
serious.
super chill guy.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
that was
He's
actually-
the
that's a good
son.
answer.
He has music and medicine.
Yeah.
I don't know, but to me, that your ability to like graphic design and be an artist kind of is Apollo-esque.
Art's just a satyr, dude.
No,
He's just a satyr.
That's
A satyr?
like that's like what a fawn is.
Yeah.
Like the Jewish. Oh, okay.
No.
You're Shiva, man.
Have you-
dude, I'm
Have you seen
baby.
Art's legs? They're all covered
Furry.
in they're furry
He's
as hell.
Grover.
Satyr.
I could see you be Apollo. I could see. I'm
Cool.
trying to think of people who you aren't. You're not Aries.
What,
No.
what's an
War.
Aries?
The war, their battle. They're,
Okay,
they're like
You're not a
bloodlusty.
fighter.
No.
You're not. Oh my god, I wanted to say Venus.
Saturn.
No. Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart.
Artemis.
That's okay.
Not Artemis.
Who's
The
the
goddess
god of
of
the hunt?
love. Oh god, the
Oh,
listeners at home
Aphrodite,
are freaking
yeah.
out. Sorry,
So you
guys,
could've said
Aphrodite.
that. I know these gods. so.
Not Aphrodite, because no one could ever love you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is what I wanted to
You
say.
are
That was the
sexy enough,
punchline.
but you aren't. The personality is not there.
I know, I'm a playboy.
Demeter is fucking just like
The party
crops
one?
and shit.
Yeah. Oh.
So
No,
what,
I
what did you
Who am
say?
I thinking? Who's the party one? The one that like shows
Oh,
up with wine.
Dionysus.
Dionysus.
You know that's you. Yeah,
I'm a
because
party
you
guy?
love to drink.
I do like
but
to-
he's not allowed to drink. He's the camp director, and
Yeah.
his whole thing is like the party god.
He's wearing like a Hawaiian.
He's being
wearing, like,
punished
Baja
for
shirts and whatnot.
something. Yeah, he can
Yeah.
only drink Diet Coke instead
That's
of his wine.
That's such a fun character.
You know,
He
That's a
is.
fun
He's a
character.
fun character.
Who's I forget what the guy's name is, but he comes in and he can't eat or drink anything. Like anytime he tries to, it turns to sand.
It's like Tantalus or something
Every-
because it's Greek. It's like tantalizing.
I don't know.
When I first heard about
It's a
that,
real myth,
I was
yeah.
like, it made me so miserable.
His
Yeah.
punishment in Greek mythology, I believe, is he's like beneath like probably like there's like a fig tree just out of reach, and so he can always like reach
Very
for it and never.
Sisyphean and
Yes,
Sisyphus.
it's similar. There's a lot of themes in terms of just like,
just like
constant
struggling
suffering
through life.
and the
Yeah.
gods are just holding something just out of your reach and
Yeah.
tantalizing.
It's all very existential if you really look at mythology.
I
think
love
about
it. That's what's also so fun about the books is and that's why it's a little more childlike than I think other YA stuff is like every at the beginning of every quest, there's always a little bit of time for Annabeth to be like, oh, this is just like what happened in the Greek myths when blah, 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 blah. And like lays out what the heroes did in classic mythology and then how they do a classic twist on it now. Which is, it's fun, always. Yeah. It's always great.
Yeah, these stories, the myths are always timeless, you know?
Stories what was your favorite book? What was your favorite of the 5?
My favorite, I there's a moment I think of all the time just because I try to, it's when they put Percy in the river Styx to make him invincible, and he has to choose what he wants.
That's such an amazing moment.
He has to choose which part of him he's going to be like vulnerable. And I'd like, what would you choose to make your one vulnerable piece?
For context, he's
please.
about to get to, you know, Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Do you know, like in the myth,
they
dip him in so that he can. So Percy's about to do that so that he can have the Achilles curse, which is you're all powerful in battle, but you have that one weakness.
Right.
And it's such a good moment in the book because he chooses the small of his back,
the lower back,
because it feels noble, but also it's going to be covered by armor.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing is when you're doing it, it's so painful, but you need to like remember something that like tethers you to who you are. And of course he pictures Annabeth, and of course I'm a fucking chump and I eat that shit up. I love it.
Wait, why is it
painful
painful to do?
Because it's the river Styx. It's
in
like
hell.
underworld.
Oh wait, Percy's doing it to himself?
Yeah, because he's trying to become
someone's helping him
because
out.
he's about to fight Cronus.
Cronus. What would you, and then his enemy, many spoilers in this pod.
Yeah.
His enemy,
It's been
who
years
also,
anyways, it doesn't matter.
he's doing that because who he needs to battle already did it. So he's not like, it's not a thing of like Percy's ego going too far. It's about him making the choice to step up and do what his enemy did at like a great personal cost. And because it makes you super vulnerable to have that one spot. His enemy chose like right under his like armpit-ish on the side of the back, which also is like,
That's pretty good.
it's pretty good. What did you say you would pick?
Well, I would always just try to think of what would be a good spot because I could never think of one that was like.
What's the gooch?
I was gonna say,
You
I was gonna say,
Just pick
I
my
was
taint.
gonna say,
You're gonna say butthole?
well, I was gonna say my
Booty hole.
dicky. My
Little?
little dicky.
Because
Well, I
it's
mean,
so small, no one could hit it.
I wasn't thinking that, but now you mentioned it, it's a
They
small
both have their
target.
pants
Listen,
off, by the way. They record,
and we
they
do-
record like Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, with their red shirts on.
They made me step on a scale. And they have their pants off.
And we're naked, or half naked. The bad half. The good half. The good half. The good half, in my opinion. It's more breezy that way. But we also have a jar of honey there. A bunch of bees. Zooming around. Depressed donkey.
Anyway, my favorite. I wouldn't say I have a favorite book. I have favorite moments. Like I also really like the battle against Aries in the first book.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's
a
such
good
a
one.
good moment.
Yes,
Because it shows how powerful Percy is almost immediately.
Sure.
it is. It has been totally criticized as like, ooh, how did he best a god in book 1, and then like there's many other situations where he could never do that again for the rest of the books.
I always saw it as it was Aries' own arrogance.
That's what I feel like it was retconned
Yeah,
as.
because Aries kind of didn't take him seriously, and then let his guard down.
And it was in the ocean.
Yeah. So
Which
yeah,
helped. What do you?
Are there logical inconsistencies in this book?
That's the other thing, but
Are there
Percy
plot
Jackson
holes?
versus other stuff, there really, really are.
I
And the
was gonna say.
fandom will defend them relentlessly because they're young. And I've like
Yeah.
just looked at stuff and I'm like, it's just
Makes no sense.
it's just simpler. Like it's just like he didn't know where the books were going necessarily, and they're tiny, very, very forgivable stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
But
there's
there are no like plot holes, right?
no, I don't think
There-
there's like little logical inconsistencies
Like, there
that are
big
too
plot
stupid to
holes
get into right now.
In Harry Potter, like there's a bunch of shit that's just like doesn't make like the time turner shit like that doesn't make any sense, you know?
Well, you know that they like destroyed the time turners. I'm not here to defend Harry Potter today.
Meredith does go on a rant defending Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling every single.
Yeah.
That's why I don't hang out with her outside of mics.
At the top of my stand up usually.
We hung out outside of a mic one time, and she would not stop defending J.K. Rowling.
I want to cancel this Percy Jackson author so we can have more things to talk about.
My thing is with him, he has done everything he's done is in good faith. Like he's done some stuff that isn't ideal.
Sounds pandering.
And that's what he's been criticized of, but I'm like, it's better to like
Pander
misstep in that direction than like double down in a super narrow-minded one.
He's a liberal cuck. That's what I'm hearing.
For sure. He for sure is a little cuck.
I mean, I'm gonna cancel from that. Anyway,
We're the same.
what's your favorite book?
I wish you read them so you know.
I know. This is why you come up here. You come to the day of my daughter's podcast, and you explain shit to me. All right, you're teaching me. I have learned a lot. This is like a very interesting series. I'm like excited to check it out. I'll probably just watch the show, to be honest, but I won't read it. But
I've learned a lot too. I've realized I don't really just like have a taste for you two. Like I just kind of feel like I don't want to do comedy with you guys after the tonight.
fair.
I think that so we have the first book. First,
Thief. Yeah.
yep. Second book is more like Odysseus based. I'm not gonna like go through all the names of everything.
Odysseus based isn't like it's based.
It's
on
like
the Odyssey?
Sea of Monsters.
Okay.
So it's sort of like that thing. Then it's the Titan's Curse.
Cool.
That's where Rachel Dare gets introduced.
Nice.
Battle of the Labyrinth. Such a good. I think that
Are you
one's my
ranking
favorite.
these or just naming?
No,
these?
I'm naming them in order.
There's order, yeah.
But I honestly think I like them in
What happens
descending order.
specifically? Remind me of
Okay,
Battle
makes
of
sense.
Oh, Battle of the Labyrinth is so good because Annabeth's
Minotaur.
leading her first quest.
Okay.
And the Labyrinth is so cool because it's like there are entrances to it all over all over the United States. And so there are, and space and time works differently under there. So like there was one at camp and they like thought Annabeth and Percy fall into it. Also horny.
Yeah, it's
Because they're
a
just in like a little dark hole together. And then one, they're playing a game of capture the flag. And then, but you know, Greek god, capture the flag. And they think they're in there for like 5 minutes and then they find their way out and it's like hours have passed.
Yeah,
and everyone's like, what were you two doing? And they're
Right.
like, nothing, blushing because
Is the Minotaur in that?
yes, it is.
That's a classic Minotaur.
That's a classic
story.
Minotaur situation.
Yeah.
A classic
fun.
Minotaur situation. Kind of hack to put
Yeah, a
the
little
Minotaur
bit.
in the Battle of the Labyrinth.
Right. It's a little.
That one
well
just
done.
really, I don't know why that one's so good. I think because it's so contained and so all the little like places they pop up all of it, they travel more, so it has that like road trip kind of thing that the first one has. I guess all of them have that because they're all
Yeah.
fucking quests.
It's all quests.
They're all going across.
They're all heroes' journeys.
Oh, the fourth one's so good too because Percy and Annabeth do kiss, and that is probably the really, really important thing that happened to me growing up.
Spoiler.
That's the big spoiler.
I have a few questions
Yes.
for you. You're describing these. Do you want to keep going? Are you done?
The only
like
other thing I was going to say is, so have you reread
Start the
the
books.
fifth since moving to New York?
No, I like I said, the last time I read them was when I was. It's also the first time I read them was when I was 20 years old.
I
so-
don't know your personal fucking history.
no, I haven't read them since
Didn't
I
ask
moved
for
to
a
New York.
novel.
Listen, dude, yeah.
I bought them at a Scholastic book fair. I read them
Jesus
then.
Christ.
But anyway, what
Fernando,
were you saying?
teach me good about your life story.
So I was
I-
born January 24th, 1995 at 3:23 a.m.
Nice.
Anyways, go on.
Where were you on January 6th, 2020?
2021.
2021, right. No, I'm asking about 2020. I'm just curious. But I think that what's so cool about the fifth is it's a big battle, like the ultimate battle, and it's in New York. And I've reread it since living here, and things are happening on the Williamsburg Bridge. And I'm like,
that is fun.
I've been where the battle is. And they
Right.
describe like the Williamsburg Bridge like collapsing at one point, and I'm like, I bet that didn't happen even.
Well, you were looking through the mist, so
Yeah.
But that's what's so fucking tantalizing now that word has re-entered my vocab.
There you go. Yeah.
About it all is that it's like, oh, I could be immortal, but it all could exist.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Which
what
would
I
be
was.
so
the
painful.
realness of it.
That was
Yeah.
one of the things that I really enjoyed about was how it tied into the world that I was around.
Right.
Yes.
I was a big Alex Rider fan. You guys know who that is? Alex Rider?
Sounds familiar.
He's a teenage James Bond, and he's a series of books.
Oh, I
That's
do
Cody
know.
Banks, by the way.
No, Cody Banks came out after Alex Rider. So,
Where's Kim Possible fit in
Yes.
all this?
Alex Rider's like the 1800s.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it was like early 2000s. Anyway, it's set in the real world, so it's like fun. It's like way more immersive.
Yes.
It's like he's like in London, you know.
This is
It's
Cody
un-
Banks exactly.
Is Cody Banks in London?
He goes
the
in the
second
second one,
Which is copying
Hillary
Alex Rider.
Hillary Duff is in that one,
Is Frankie
Right.
Muniz Cody Banks?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
right?
Anyway,
Delicious.
a few more questions. Start wrapping up. One, least favorite book and why?
Oh, I think Titan's Curse because that one is him chasing Annabeth the whole time. Oh, and that's one where Percy wasn't supposed to go on the quest, and he's just like, no, I have a right to. So it was the first one where he's getting humbled, where he just assumed he'd get special boy treatment and be out because the campers have to be allowed to go.
Yeah.
So it was one where I was like, he was cocky, and then also Annabeth's not in it that much.
Yeah.
I don't like dislike it, but it's not my favorite because it's not like the core group.
Right.
Every other book is like a core group of people.
It feels a little bit of a filler kind of situation, right?
Yeah, right
It's
in the
like,
middle,
feels-
kinda.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's like setting up things for the future,
Right,
that kind
right.
of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a build up.
Yeah.
No one likes edging,
Yeah.
except for me. But
You're edging. I'm looking at you right now.
I'm always edging. You're always edging until you come. That's my philosophy. Anyway,
The table just like raised like a full half inch.
is that not right? That's how everyone should live, right? Anyway,
Sure.
so
No, I'm thinking about that deeply.
it's an important question to ask. I feel like that's what life's about. Anyway, okay, least favorite book. 2, do you ever dabble in fan fiction?
Writing it myself. Well,
I guess you have written
I guess I
fan
read that
fiction,
as
technically,
an adult writing
Right.
scripts.
Hey, no shame. That's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't have shame before you said that. Okay,
Oh.
someone thinks I should have
Well, now you
shame.
should have a little shame.
Shame monster over here. What am I ashamed about today,
Shame
sir?
McGee over here,
Shame.
everybody.
Yeah. I have nothing to add.
Anyway, so yeah, have you dabbled in fan? Did you ever read fan fiction?
Reading it, yes, for sure.
A lot.
Because it's whenever I'm in one of my like binge spirals and I need to get my fix, fan fiction's what's there. And so
Right.
I'm not like reading it like, this is great writing. I'm usually just like trying to get to parts that I like.
Right. It's also like interesting to see other people's ideas of how things play out. Right.
Definitely. And
Right.
where people, all the fan fiction I like was usually super like light and realistic and never like had
Sex.
I did not say that. I never liked anything with like, what if these characters who have never interacted did
Interact. Right.
Yeah,
right.
no. I like things
a
that
lot
are
of
just
fan
like
fiction is that.
yes, and it's not like that's not what I am seeking fan fiction for. I think it's cool that some people do it. I think fan fiction is important for writers, and I think it's like weird that I never did it, and I should have. But
Right.
whatever.
Hey, whatever.
Did you guys ever read fan fiction for stuff?
As a joke, not like seriously.
I heard
As a bit?
That's very
As a
on
bit.
brand.
What?
To read fan fiction as a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like,
For
a lot
what?
of it's like not good. Like Dragon Ball Z, you know?
There's like a famous like Shrek Hitler one, right?
Probably.
There's now.
That sounds like something I would read because that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, Hitler's super funny. Jesus, this guy.
He's a little funny.
What fan fiction have you read?
What fan? I don't read a lot of fan fiction.
Sam and Dean, twin sets.
Oh yeah, actually, now that you mention it,
Supernatural.
I have read a fair amount of supernatural fan fiction, and yeah.
And they're all
Wait, have you read it like earnestly? You like wanted to explore the world more?
when you're like editing your own writing, when you insert yourself in their stories.
Well, it's more when I'm edging, as Art was saying. So
Yep.
So all the time.
you were talking about Wincest just now, you know.
Oh yeah, I said twincest, but
Yeah,
Wincest.
Wincest.
Yeah.
Which honestly, the best shipping name, but
No, yeah, unfortunately, it does check out.
It's the best one.
Yeah, Persebeth, bullshit.
Are these all relationships? Are we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have
stuff.
Percy and Annabeth.
Oh.
And then when you have Wincest, which is the
Persephone.
brothers Dean and Sam
okay,
in a
okay.
relationship. You also have Destiel.
Right? I'm
Just-
trying to think. What are like ships that you would know names of?
Like in real life?
Yeah.
Brangelina?
What's
Yeah,
you
I
and
was like,
your
knew
what's
you
you
were
and
gonna
your are in
Who do I ship? Like who do I legitimately ship?
yeah.
I've been on a Tom Holland Zendaya.
Larton?
What?
How would you? What would be you and your girlfriend's shipping? Larton?
Arin. Yeah.
I think Lart is kind of funny.
We are a fictional couple, so that makes sense.
That does make sense.
That-
I'm her
actually,
fictional
that checks
girlfriend.
out. She
Yeah.
is.
I'm her beard, so.
Has she ever been on the pod?
Yeah, she has.
What'd she teach?
One Direction.
Ah.
It was fun.
Well, she and I are starting our own Percy Jackson
You
side
guys
pod.
should. She's obsessed with that. Should we?
Can't believe I'm not included on this.
Well,
You can be a guest every once in a while, but
Yeah.
you can't talk.
You guys would get along, I think.
No, I'm too jealous.
You met her.
of her man.
You met her briefly, right? She's not very like.
We've had
social-
dinner together.
a little introverted. Oh, that's right. But like far away.
We're sisters.
Aren't we all? Anyway, we gotta start wrapping up. We're hitting about an hour.
You guys got to put your pants on sometime.
One final question. This is kind of a big one.
Okay.
Do you think Percy Jackson has changed your life?
I would say shaped it. I don't think
Sure.
my life was headed one way and then Percy Jackson veered me in a
That's
different direction.
Yeah, it's kind of an intense.
But I
extreme.
am someone whose life is boring enough that all the books and TV shows that I obsessed over were so formative
Sure.
to my personality, to who I made friends with, and
Yeah.
to genuinely what I want to do with my life. I would,
In what way? This is interesting. How did it help in that way?
I mean, Percy Jackson provided a world. When that TV show is up, I want to be in that writer's room so badly.
Right.
So, and
It just got you like hyped up about the things you're hyped up about now. It seems.
yeah,
Like writing and like world building. And
exactly.
Like, okay.
And
Character building. And all that stuff.
as a little kid, like wanting to feel special about, and Percy Jackson was really, because like in Hunger Games, you don't want to be in the Hunger Games. But Percy Jackson, like, yeah.
Yes.
If they... yes.
We're so in tune.
They both whipped out tridents.
And,
Who is a crossbow? If I was in the Hunger Games, I would probably just bring a gun. But I'd be strapped.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that it's...
to kill myself.
Percy Jackson was a good one. Like, if... Immediately. No, so seriously, in all these fictional worlds, I'd be so trigger happy, so quick to kill myself. Did you guys see
it's so stressful.
In
the things we go
Kanto?
through.
Yeah, I love that movie so much. If I was the unspecial one in
Kanto, you would
I
hang
was like
yourself
so good for her. I would
from
not
the
make
balcony
it.
of the house. You
Would not have made it to age 9. Would have killed myself immediately. And not kidding. If I was Sokka in The Last Airbender, I would not contribute to the team. I would be dead.
What would you ban? What do you
whole
prefer?
other pod. Whole
other pod.
Quick answer.
Let's leave them wanting more.
This is a quick
Let's
answer.
leave them wanting more. It's not a quick answer at all.
I'd want to bend Earth.
He said Earth, which is insane.
I would not picture you as an Earth.
That's what
Everyone says that.
Yeah.
Literally everyone.
But
in
you
my
are
life,
chill.
No, but I want to. Earth is cool.
He wants to be like sturdy, like an Earthbender. You
No,
know?
Yeah.
not the personality. I just like the idea of moving Earth around. It's cool. I don't
What
want
are you?
water, fire. I don't care.
What do you think I am?
I wouldn't be surprised if you were also Earth.
That hurts so much.
Why? Sturdy.
Fire
This is a whole
because
other pod. This is her.
because I'm so aggressive.
fire because you
'Cause
water because you have swamp ass.
Whenever I go into Meredith's apartment, I am so aggressive. I own the entire apartment.
Water because you're a sweaty boy. Wait, when the fuck have you been in my apartment? Dead of night. That's the pod, guys.
You don't get to end us. What the fuck? Meredith coming in.
Like, donate to
Donate, yeah. Don't even.
donate because they're
Donate
trying.
money.
They're trying to sign up for stand-up classes. So donate.
Well, I'm glad this book has shaped your life. I hope
Me
this
too.
podcast has shaped your life. It shaped my life.
It has.
It's formative.
It surely was a night.
It was fun. I had a good time.
Me too.
Before
No questions. I have no
Before we
questions.
end, one more thing. 2 more things actually. One, where can we find you? Give me your plugs.
Well,
What are you
apparently Fernando knows my address, but I would say, that was loud in my ears. I would say that you could find me at Dietz _Meredith, Dietz DIETZ _ Meredith Dietz nuts, and then on TikTok and Twitter at Dietz.m on Instagram. I'd love if you came to a little open mic in the Lower East Side called Jerry
It's not
Seinfeld
just open mic,
Presents.
it's also a
And it's
show.
also a comedy show. I was kind of trying to build up to
We're
that.
also doing classes soon.
I'm doing a master class in being a double threat stand-up podcaster.
Yeah, we're all teaching it.
And it's called Jerry Seinfeld Presents because we kind of ran the math, and there's always a non-zero chance that Jerry Seinfeld comes.
Well, we did the math and we found out there is a comedian named Jerry Seinfeld, which is weird.
There's a
Who is
comedian.
that? Anyway, anything else before we go to the last question?
Oh no, there's one more question.
Gosh, really doesn't listen to this podcast.
The question is, do you listen to the podcast?
No.
No,
Palate cleanser.
I would listen to it if I supported you guys. I promise.
No, you really don't have. There's too many podcasts in the world. As a little palate cleanser.
Okay.
As a little thing we ask all our guests. One of our favorite. This is I don't know how he feels about it, but I love asking this question. Meredith, can you please describe your perfect day? What are you doing? Who are you seeing? What are you eating? You can do anything within 24 hours, but that's like the main constraint.
Perfect day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I guess I would. Do I have to start it in the morning? Or could I
You can start it wherever
at
you
night?
want.
Okay, so I'm starting it at around 7 p.m. recording an impeccable podcast with my 2 best friends.
This fucking guy.
The Pod Save America guys. And then I listen to that for another 23 hours on a loop throughout the night.
Okay.
I would say
right.
I can't think about. I would love to at one point go to like a diner with and get some
Nosh.
Exactly. Like I want some scrambled eggs, pancakes, hash brown, lots of coffee refills.
Are you actually starting your day at night?
Yes,
Okay,
and it's an all-night diner. And
love it.
a waitress
Kellogg's.
calls me honey or sweetie a few times, kind
Yeah.
of boosts my ego. Then, I don't know, I sleep for 14, 16 hours. Then
This is a great perfect day so
Then
far.
I hosted Jerry's Hypothesis open mic. Wait. Before it, I did a lot of ketamine.
You're K-holing
I'm K-holing
while you're on
yo-yos.
stage.
And everyone,
And you're like, guys, have you ever felt like you're out of your body?
I'm trying to
You guys
read.
feel-
I'm trying to read comics names to come up, but I can't read right now.
Right.
So I'm just saying like different.
Paper's like falling through your hands, but
Paper's
you're
falling
holding it. It's weird.
Exactly. And everyone's. But the reason I do that is because I love when people are worried about me.
Yeah, okay.
Because it means that they care.
Yeah.
That's why I also like am pretending to faint here and there, so everyone like rushes and are like, "Meredith, are you okay?" I'd just be like,
Yeah. You put the hand over your forehead. thing.
Exactly.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So we've probably eaten up an hour or so of my day.
Easily 5 hours worth of
Listen.
you doing fainting and ketamine.
Exactly. And then I don't know, I take a bottle of champagne and a bunch of rocks in my pockets and I walk to the ocean. I haven't answered this question. I should have listened to the pod.
Is it an insane question? Let me ask you that. Do you think this is an insane question?
I do, because I think it could reveal so much about like your priorities and stuff.
That's
And
exactly
if you
what
are,
it is.
That's the whole point.
if you're
She's
content,
like, I think it's just a bad question because it's like a really good question that
Exactly.
will show who I am as a person.
Right.
and it feels like I obviously showed who I am by trying to like deflect with humor the entire time. But in
is
that
gonna
way,
be interesting.
you guys got what you wanted. You had your fucking rocks off with
Right.
my answer,
I didn't
right?
laugh once, but
Wait, I'm so sorry. You were in my periphery. Did not know you were here this whole time. I'm wearing horse blinders. I think I want to hear about your guys' days, but off mic because the listeners
That's
don't want to
actually
know.
on the pod. That's actually on the Patreon.
Well, no, I don't want.
That's a legitimate
I want to get
It's,
live experience.
$2 a month. You can
The
do
thing
your
is,
listener
when I heckle the Patreon, I feel like you guys can't hear me.
What
And
do you mean by heckle the Patreon?
when I'm listening to the Patreon and I'm heckling to the things you
Oh,
guys
right,
say,
right. Okay. Okay.
I kind of like the feedback of seeing your eagles falter before my eyes. You know,
Yeah. That's how you edge.
that's how I edge.
That's how I comes. When we talk about
Can
it.
you add the bow? And that's how I.
And like a
All
guitar.
right, guys, this has been and that's how I edge.
All right, now we're actually signing off. Meredith, what an insane perfect day.
one of the best.
One of the best.
One of the best we've ever had.
Yeah, one of the best.
One of the best we've ever had.
I don't think this perfect day is livable. I don't think it's actually possible to do this.
Honestly, I also like that
Eat,
you said
sleep
for
for 14,
well, I was
16
saying, you said
hours.
the only limit was it has to be 24 hours. She goes wake up at 7, eat at a diner, sleep for 14
to
16 hours, and
yeah.
then go to another open mic at 7.
Right.
So
It's an insane
No,
perfect day.
We changed the time of the open mic for my day. That's my make a wish.
okay,
Please.
you get a make a wish in your perfect day.
Please, my perfect day has a 2 p.m. open mic.
Or you can just get rid of the sleeping and just start your day at the diner, ketamine, and then do the mic. Your whole day is just ketamine.
Okay, will you guys be able to tell my family this? Because I'm probably not going to talk to them.
We're signing off right now. This is over.
I assumed it was last day. It's not, is it?
Oh my god. Well, I mean,
Why are you sleeping 46 hours your last day?
I see where the confusion is. The best day would be your last day.
That's it.
Exactly. I was describing your guys' best day
Right,
when I
okay,
walk into the
okay.
ocean. Guys, this has been and this is
For the third time. Go check out Meredith, I guess.
yeah.
I'm exhausted.
And
I'm
we'll,
hungry.
we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you on the next one. Goodbye. Hey. Whoa. What's up? What an episode.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
Finally got her out of here.
She left.
She
did.
She's
So
not here. She's
she will-
legitimately not here.
she will not be interrupting anymore. So
It's just
us,
us.
guys.
Yeah, I
it's
paused.
just the boys.
I
We're
know that.
boys world.
I know that. The audience are like, is she actually gone? Who knows?
No,
we're
we're
such
gone.
jokesters.
She's 100% gone. I don't cap, guys. As we've absolutely
This is a
specified.
new year.
My New Year's resolutions,
It's a
no
new year.
capping.
Yeah, good ep. A lot of fun.
Very fun.
Love her. Good friend of ours, Meredith.
Yeah, good acquaintance.
Good. Okay. Interesting. They say that.
I would say acquaintance. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, she's one of my close friends.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think she would describe me as a business partner, burgeoning
Turn lover.
on acquaintance,
Oh,
not
okay.
lover.
I thought.
No,
Perhaps.
no, I would, no, not even as a bit.
Yeah, business and
acquaintances.
pleasure. You gotta keep those separate. Yeah,
keep them completely
I
separated.
get you. So I think Percy Jackson, to bring it back, we bounced around a lot in the podcast.
Yeah.
You guys had a field day describing the cool things that happened. It sounds cool. I legitimately am excited for the show. I know Lauren's gonna watch it, and I will be watching. Lauren's my girlfriend. She's so sexy. We will be watching it together.
Yeah, I'm excited for it as well, just because I remember when the series Unfortunate Events movie was released.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that so much, and then when the show came out, I thought that the show
wasn't bad.
I mean, it wasn't perfect, but
Right.
I mean, it was
More
it was a lot better, and it was
closer
guess
to the books.
truer, and
Yeah.
it kept a lot of things that the
Right.
books. Things about the books that I enjoyed were in the.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like these things are not hard to do. Like to adapt a book isn't hard. Yeah. But I guess it is because people fuck it up all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, with like what Meredith was talking about with the Rick Riordan, where he was like, he posted emails on his website, like emails he was sending to the executives. Sure. I think what happens is his biggest complaint was they were trying to like sex it up to
make it like more appealing
to older people.
Sure.
But that alienates the audience, fan base that's already there.
Right.
And so I think that's what happens is you're trying to appeal to people that aren't already into it, as opposed to people that are into it.
Right. So that's why I'm curious to see if the show is good, because I'm like a person who's just like not really never read it, you know. So I'm curious to see if it's actually good. Like the Cowboy Bebop adaptation, terrible. Like they're trying to like get people to watch more anime, and it's just like this is a terrible adaptation.
Yeah.
It's just like they're really trying to like make it feel Buffy the Vampire Slayer-esque.
Yeah. I also
think
anime doesn't
translate.
I think a lot of anime at least doesn't translate well to live action, just because I think the point of anime is to be so larger than life, and big,
and it's all like it's 50%, 60% of it is the animation itself. You know?
Yeah. Like people will complain. Like my favorite thing is One Piece, and people complain about One Piece because the animation is so poor. Yeah. And so you're right that when it comes to animation is
huge,
a major component of it.
Yeah, totally. Like Naruto, pretty. I feel like plot wise, boring. Good animation though. Yeah, like really good animation. Bleach as well.
I do not get why people like Naruto.
Turning this into an anime podcast.
Yeah,
like
sorry.
We
We're not weebs.
I'm not especially. Yeah. But we are Percy Jackson stans.
I am a huge fan of it.
They should turn Percy Jackson into an anime. That'd be interesting.
Ooh.
There actually might be a manga. I feel like that is something that probably exists as a comic book type thing.
Yeah.
Exists. Yeah.
No, that sounds good.
Yeah. Anyway, any other thoughts?
No, I think I was very happy to talk, because I like talking to Meredith in particular, because I feel like we grew up watching a lot of the same things or reading a lot of the same things. Mm-hmm. And I'm not able to talk about these things with other people. Uh-huh. Like Supernatural. She was a fan of Supernatural. We didn't get to talk about it today, but sure. I was happy when I found out she watched it. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Anything for me?
I like art because he fishes, sure, but
I fish. Yeah,
he fish. But sure. I like art because he takes me as I am.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful
person.
And
I like you for who you are.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, thanks guys for watching and listening. This has been one of our live episodes. I had a good time. You had a good time?
Yeah, I had a good time.
This is really fun.
Anytime I'm with you, Art, I have a great time.
Yeah, you and also our pal Meredith. We have a blast.
Yeah, it's really fun.
We'll catch you guys on the next one, all right?
Later.
Bye.